Hi.
Hi. Did I say your name correctly, Sarah?
Yeah,
Okay. What nationality is that name?
I'm Indian.
Indian. Okay. I've never heard that name before. Except for I know I heard you in
Yeah,
this
it's just
class
a
at
different
least once.
spelling.
Huh?
It's a different spelling, but it's pronounced like the same.
Okay. I see. All right, guys, welcome to Performance Seminar. So we have Samantha and we have Sarah today. So I'm excited to hear both of you perform. And who would like to go first? Volunteer. Or are you going to make me choose? Somebody raise a hand while I wasn't looking. Okay, Samantha, how about you go first?
Um,
Okay. Do you have video today, Samantha?
no.
Okay, because I remember before you were able to set it up so I could see your hands.
I
Do
do,
you...
but this time my computer is like kind of low on battery. It's gonna die, so I
I
have to keep
see.
it like on time.
Okay, maybe for the second part of class you can turn it on. And then, um, can you just turn on your camera for now, Samantha? And Sarah, if you could also turn yours on. It's always nice to see faces. Yes, there we go. And, oh, there are your hands. Okay, Samantha, so why don't you introduce yourself and the piece that you're going to play?
Okay, my name is Samantha, and I'm gonna be playing the Sonatina.
Okay. Sarah and I will be listening very attentively.
Okay.
Okay. Sarah, are you listening to Samantha? Hang on just a second. Sorry, Samantha. Sarah, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, just make sure that we're both listening to Samantha perform her piece, okay? Okay, take it away, Samantha. round of applause for Samantha. Samantha, that was a very good draft. Was it your first draft?
Oh yeah.
Okay, great first draft. So before I talk, maybe Sarah, could you give Samantha some feedback? So maybe list two things that you thought were very good about this, and then two areas that she can still improve on.
Um, I think um, she played most of the notes correctly, and the rhythm was definitely there. But I think maybe just improve on the dynamics a bit, like the places where it could be softer, maybe make it a bit softer, because I feel like it was kind of the same throughout. But overall,
Okay,
it was good.
yeah, okay, that's good feedback. Um, I don't know, are you guys hearing that alert sound? Like the message sound? I don't think that's on my computer. Could you guys check, please?
Fine.
It's okay. Um, so yeah, Samantha, I thought I agree with Sarah that the accuracy of notes and the rhythms is really good. And I think for me, the two areas that are going to make the biggest improvement right now are the tempo and the balance. So overall, this piece is andante. And what does andante mean?
Um, I forgot what it meant.
Okay, andante, Sarah, do you want to tell her what it means? Do you want to tell Samantha what andante means?
Andante means, I'm pretty sure it means like, uh, walking tempo.
Yeah, exactly. Walking speed. So basically, in musical terms, moderately slow. And I think yours was maybe very slow. So we'll come back to you in the second half of class to workshop those two things. But then, Sarah, I know you're anxious to play, so why don't you introduce the piece you're going to play and the composer?
Um, this is my first draft of the Force theme from Star Wars.
Okay, that's cool. And how did you choose this piece?
For the Halloween recital that's coming up this week.
Okay, great. Take it away, Sarah. Sarah, can you make sure original sound is turned on? I can't hear you. And then if you want to point your camera down just a bit more, then I can actually see your hands, which would be nice. Okay, round of applause. Nice job, Sarah. Wow, what a big arrangement. When did you start practice? Oh, keep your camera on. Keep your camera on, please. When did you start learning that?
I think around 2-ish weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Okay, wow, for 2 weeks of work, that is really good. I mean, honestly, this is really hard here in the middle. So, good job. Samantha, let's have some feedback from you. What are two things that Sarah did really well, and then two areas of improvement?
She played really smoothly and her dynamic was really good. Like it varied a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And for improvement, I don't really know.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. It is a really advanced piece. And Samantha, you named two really good things that Sarah did. So that was good observation on your part. I think the piano in the beginning was excellent, and then you had a good forte. Do you have a broken key on your keyboard?
Yeah, I actually
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah, because I heard there was like one G that
Yeah.
kept on sticking out. So I have a couple ideas for what you can do when the dynamics get bigger, because I think there you can develop a little bit more what you're doing with the balance and the sound and getting more colors in your forte. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But first, let's get to Samantha. So Samantha, the two areas that I want to work on are tempo and balance. So let's start with balance. And obviously the right hand has the melody here. So what I want you to do is just play the right hand. And I want you to think that you're playing with a heavy hand and that you're playing all the way to the bottom of every single key. And that's going to get a melodic sound out of the piano. So just to show you what I mean, we want a heavy hand and then deep into the key. So that every note is very saturated. Do you know what I mean by saturated?
Uh, like clear.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever like played around with the saturation settings in your like photos or anything that you've taken? Poor Samantha's like, what on earth are you saying? Wait, so have you ever edited photos?
No.
No, okay, no worries. If you haven't, that's no problem. Sorry. Here, let me just show you what I mean by saturated. I have to share my screen. So colors sometimes are very pale and unsaturated. So an example of that, like, can you pick a color, Samantha? What color would you want for this melody?
Blue.
Blue. Okay, so sometimes blue can be very unsaturated, and it looks like this, right? And it's kind of pale. But if we want it more saturated, then it will look like this. And it's so dark that it's almost black, right? Or we could get a little lighter if we wanted to. So when I say that every note should feel saturated, it shouldn't feel pale like this stuff up here. You want it to feel dark and rich like these colors down here. Do you see what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah? And you're going to do that by sinking to the bottom of each key with a heavy hand. Can you try? Just the right hand. First line.
For the okay.
That was good. You know, most of the notes were really good, but you played two, and then your five finger wasn't quite as heavy and deep. So it disappeared. It was a little unsaturated. So you want to make sure that you have the same weight and depth on each and every finger, and that way it's going to be all sounding beautiful. Can you do that one more time? So all the fingers have to have the same depth and weight. That's really good. Now, very good. The left hand you want to be not so saturated. You want it to be like the paler colors I showed you. And for that, we want light fingers that feel like we're going to the bottom of the key, but not so heavily. So a paler color, pale blue, like the sky. Can you show the left hand? And I think what's happening is maybe you're moving a little bit more than I personally would. Did you talk with your teacher about using drop roll in this place?
No.
Okay, so I think, can you keep your arm a little bit more still? And if you look at the fingers, we're just going to play by our fingers wiggling just a little bit like this and keeping the arm a bit more still. Can you try? Good. That's the idea. And your pinky is getting a little bit heavier than the others. So again, it's the same idea. All the fingers want to be equally light. One more time, please.
Okay.
Okay, very good, very good. Now the challenge, of course, is when you put the two hands together, the right hand has to be deep and heavy, and the left hand has to be light. Because if the left hand gets heavy, then we hear this. And our right hand gets lost. Okay, so can we try that? We'll go slowly. A deep right hand and a shallow left hand.
And just the first line?
Yeah, just the first couple measures even. Yeah, okay, that for me was a very big difference, and I loved the balance now. So, can you take what you did in those two measures and apply it to the whole song? And that will make a big difference. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, and then overall it can just be a little faster, so I would say your target tempo should be around here. Okay, and that will come, in your second and third draft the more you practice. Okay, good. Can't wait to see it. Sarah, you did so many things really well. I was wondering if we could just take a look, and I know part of it is just that you have this broken key that sticks out. But when you play chords, I wonder if we can just refine what you're doing a little bit, like these guys here. So I think we can possibly get a more ringing sound out of them. And maybe voice the top a little bit more. Can you play just the chords with your right hand here? Don't worry about the left hand. And point the camera down so I can see what you're doing. Yeah, maybe point it down a little bit more. Thank you. Yeah, okay, good job. Very good. So there's a couple things I think that will help. So one is when you play a big chord, and I'll bring you closer here. When you play a big chord, you want to follow through with your elbow. I don't know if you can see, but we do that so the chord will ring after you've played it. ring like a bell, right? If you hit a bell, bong, it's going to keep going long after you've played it. So I want you to feel like you're ringing that chord and you're releasing all the tension in your arm through the elbow. Good. Now, what you're doing is you're releasing it upwards, and that's fine, but you'll get actually more release if you go out and sideways. So out and sideways with the elbow like this. Yeah, good job. Really good. Again. And I can still release, but keep my fingers very light, loose, and easy on the keys. Look. See, my fingers are there, but they're not tense at all. They've let go. And they just hold the keys down with dead weight. But what you're doing is you're actually lifting your fingers off the keys, so we don't want that. We leave them there, and we release everything through the arm. That's the idea. Very good. Now, the other thing that will help you, really good. Sorry, I'm rushing through things because we don't have much time. The other thing that will help you here, or maybe I'm looking in a different spot than where you are. Okay, yeah, so you're in measure 21. What will help you here is having this idea of a throw when you have 16th notes. So I'll show you where the throw is here. You're just going to throw without placing the hand. Can you just try those two chords with the throw? Hey, not bad at all. Really good. And one way that you can practice that is just by playing the thumb on GG. Or, sorry, GD in this case. And just throwing with the dead weight. Yeah, can you try? But just your thumb. Only play your thumb, none of the other notes. And let the other fingers all relax. That's the idea. And now throw maybe just octave G, D. And then that's it. And release on the long note. Release with the elbow. That's the idea. So all those things, where was it? All those things, if you practice them, I mean, they take a little time to integrate. But I release, throw, and then they will help you feel a little bit freer in those chord passages. Does that all make sense? I had to run through all those things really quickly.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
yeah, okay, cool. All right, Sarah, Samantha, it was really nice hearing you play today. Thanks so much for your performances, and have a great time at the Halloween concert.